All right, I'm Mark Hamid. This is my friend Patrick Shannon. Quick synopsis: Patrick and I went to school together. We're pretty cool friends. He's a pretty cool guy sometimes. It's kind of weird. No, no, but tragic incident happened. Patrick's dad had passed away. Our what, senior year? Yeah, our
Last
senior.
January, yeah.
Yeah, last January. So yeah, we're gonna get this started. All right. Cool. I'm gonna aim this towards you like this.
Good to me.
Alright. Make sure you talk loudly and clearly. Sorry that my finger's in the way because I'm not pro with this. Alright. How was your dad as a person when he was alive?
That's an interesting question. There's kind of two parts to that. There's a part of my life that, well, up till around later in middle school, when you start to notice things. He was, all in all throughout his life, he was a fantastic person. He was a wonderful human being. He and I had in common this like kind of insatiable thirst just for knowing like useless things. Like we would just talk about like just things that didn't matter. Like we'd both like get like non-fiction books that are like lots of pictures, just like catalog, and, like just talk about stuff. And we just have conversations like that, or just not even about stuff, just talking and questioning and just that kind of thing. So he had a profound impact in my life in that way. But he was also an alcoholic. I guess throughout his life, sometimes more worse than others. Like I really started noticing it when I was, I don't know, 8th grade, something like that. And then it kind of just was in the background, but never a real issue. And it started to really become an issue later in high school. And just last December 2012, it was, we asked him to leave the house for a little bit. And he did for about 2 weeks. After which he came back for Christmas, which is good. And he was there for a little bit, and he passed away in January 2013, so a couple weeks after all that had gone down. So, I mean, that all kind of came to a head, and then he kind of passed away. So that has left me with a lot of unresolved emotions towards him, towards a lot of things relating to that. But overall, my father was a really good guy, I think, I'd like to say.
Awesome. Yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome too. Next question. What kind of bonds did you guys create?
With the whole alcoholism thing, like they're in the really formative years, I guess, as a young male. I kind of missed out on some of those things. I just see like guys with their dads fishing, or just like one poignant moment I had was after this one. I'm in the conservatory, and I was at someone's senior recital, and his dad came up and like just had like a big high five moment, and, like big hug, and so like those kind of moments still get me. Those like opportunities I'll have or I won't have going forward. But there were some things that we did have. Like I played little league baseball and soccer, which I was utterly horrible at, truly awful. But he still cared enough to go out and be an assistant coach, even though I was a stupid bad. And I remember playing catch with him just so I could be less terrible and all that kind of stuff. And one thing I remember especially, well, two things I remember especially was before homecoming my senior year, we went out because I needed to get a suit the morning before. We were just kind of bonding, listening to a little bit of NPR, funny conversations, just relating to that. It was a good time. And another specific instance I remember was, I must have been 15 or so. It was the first time I was shaving. So I asked him, where do I get a razor? He was like, I'll take you to CVS. So we go there, and he's telling me all about like, shaving, just like smart things to do, that kind of stuff. And one thing he said that's probably going to stick with me for my entire life was, son, there's two things you don't share with another man. Your woman and your razor. Don't share your razor with other men. That's like probably the greatest dad advice he ever gave me. It was one of those really fun moments.
I understand, man. That's funny. All right. So, man, that was actually pretty silly. That was pretty silly. Let's see. Next question. Oh man, I don't know if you feel comfortable. Is it hard to live without your dad?
Yes and no. Like,
Elaborate.
I don't think about it. Like, wake up and it's not. it's something you think about every day, but it's not something you consciously deal with every day. There are days that are worse than others, and some days are fine. And part of that has to do with the fact that I'm at school here. But even over the summer when I was still back at home, it was kind of like that. But I mean, my home life, or back at home, I'm from Youngstown, so back at home, it was a lot quieter, actually more peaceful, a lot less stressful, just because the nature of the life that we lived with we basically, at one point in our house, there was my mother, my sister, me, my father, my grandfather, and my cousin, all living in the same house, and there was just always a constant hustle bustle. There's someone doing something always, someone yelling at somebody probably, just something like that, you know. So going from that to my grandfather moves out at some point. He's living in Virginia now. My cousin graduates from high school, and then my dad passes away. We go from, and now I'm at college, so really it's a household gone from 6 to 2. I'm not even there at the time. It's a lot, actually more stressful from a day-to-day thing. So I mean, it's one of those weird things where, yeah, it does suck and it's pretty awful, and I really would rather, I mean, I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but it's not insurmountable. Nothing's insurmountable. I can wake up every day.
Exactly.
I have to wake up every day. I have to do these. I have to go to class. I have to go to work. There's no not doing that, you know? Mm-hmm. So I hope that answers the question.
Oh, yeah. With that being said, think your dad is proud of, like, what you're doing?
I like
in school?
I like to think so. Neither of my parents graduated college.
So you're going ahead.
My mom went back and got an associate's degree online, but my dad was a steel worker, and I think that's something that, like, I think that's something that was unfulfilled in him.
Yeah.
Just working in a steel mill all day, every day, that's all he did. I think there's something that he probably would have liked to do more than that. I don't know. I don't really know what.
Exactly, man. Like, I was sitting here like, man, like, Dad, come on, we're smarter than this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like my dad is like a borderline genius in a fucking steel mill. And your dad was a freaking genius in the essence. Like, what? Why? Yeah. Come on, let's make this a thing.
Sometimes, I guess, just got to make sacrifices for the...
or
just life shakes out a certain way, so... Yeah. I like to think he would be.
Oh, yeah. How have you changed as a person from this experience?
Well, I've grown up a lot. Yeah.
Amen.
Go from being like a 17-year-old kid, got both parents, just kind of living through life, don't have to really worry about much, to all of a sudden you've lost a parent. And then that was coinciding with having to decide with college, where do I want to go to school, what do I want to do. Then financial aid and everything. It's just had I've since in the past, let's say 15 months, I know that I've grown up a lot. I know how to deal with stuff more. I feel like I have a better understanding of the world, the way things work. Obviously, I'm 18. I'm still an idiot. But
yeah,
you know, dent in that, I suppose.
Awesome. Let's see. Next question. Oh man, what was your first thought when you heard that crazy news, man?
I am a terrible person.
Dang, elaborate.
Yeah. You know, there was a lot of, like I said, unresolved emotions for him. And I'm kind of still really pissed off over the whole drinking thing and the way that everything had been going. And then, like, the last time I saw him, I didn't even really say it. Like, he was just getting a sandwich or something. And I did, like, maybe said a word or something. So, like, the first thought I remember in my head was, the first thought I had in my head was, I'm a terrible person.
Awesome. Not awesome, maybe. Next question. Is there anything you wish you could take back?
What do you mean?
Like, as in, like, any action, disrespect, or any, like, problems between, like, y'all two, like, how you discuss, like, the drinking problem, like, take that back, like, so you feel like maybe you as a child, maybe you as a son could have bonded with your dad more. Like, is that something that you wish could have just been gone?
It would have been nice to have that opportunity, and it's something that it's a pain that I feel every day, and I see people with their dads, and it's a pain that I feel interacting with that. But I mean, I'm happy with the person I am. I'm happy with the person I've become, and even though it's been so terrible, and been at times living through hell. No, I don't think that I would go back and change anything. As terrible as it would be, I think that I wouldn't. No.
Okay, cool. Shoot. If your dad was in this room right now, what do you think he would say?
He would say to me, or I would say to him.
Oh, interpersonal communication, both ways. What do you think he'd say to you?
I don't know. Honestly, don't. Probably something about. He always seemed proud that I was graduating high school and going to college, and that I was doing well because I didn't do well in school. So something like that.
What would you say to him?
I just tell him I love them.
Cool. Dang, that was deep. That hit me a little bit. Well, I'm going through my questions. Next question. Have you ever found another father figure in your life?
Yeah. Yeah, I've had sorry. I've had a couple. I'm one of the luckiest people in the world. Straight up. Like, yeah, that's terrible what happened, but I mean, I'm one of the luckiest people in the world. I took piano lessons from this one woman, who's like family to me, and her whole family's like family to me, and her husband was my clarinet teacher throughout high school, and he's always been someone I've looked up to. And just a lot of the men in her family have kind of been like, I have strong connections with a lot of them. My best friend in high school, her dad, you know her, Caitlin.
Oh yeah, Caitlin.
Her dad is really, I'm close to him. He's kind of like a father in a way to me. I don't know if you know Dr. Vlad.
Mm-hmm.
He's the leader of a big band. He's my piano teacher's father.
Oh, okay.
He's kind of a figure of that to me. There's a lot of guys who kind of, in one way, shape, or form, kind of filled that role.
Okay, cool. Any of them had a bigger effect than others?
I mean, yeah, like Steve is probably the biggest. My clarinet teacher in high school is probably the biggest one, I think.
Cool. Let's see. Oh, any advice that you could give somebody going through this situation?
Sucks, but you got to wake up every day, put on your whatever. You got to keep living life. My mom said that to me when it happened. She's like, you can't get 2013 at the time. She said, you can't get stuck in 2013, and that's true. You can't get stuck in that time, because I've watched family members who've lost people close to them, and they just fall apart as a human being. And it happened like at the point where I'm stepping out into the world as a man and as an individual. So I mean, I realized that I couldn't get stuck there in that thing. But if there's anybody going through that, who you know, it was kind of a tangent, or whatever. Just keep going. Like, just talk to somebody if you need to talk to somebody, but never keep going. Try to stay out of school as little as you can. Try to get back working as soon as you can. Try to get back in some routine, doing something. You can't sit around and just be depressed, because that's awful. But yeah, keep going, I think, is what I would say.
Patrick, you have a younger sister, right?
Yeah.
You think she's thinking the same thing you are?
Something like that. Probably. I don't know. My sister, she had a different experience with my dad, just because, I mean, being a young man, we just, in the whole alcoholism thing, I really had a lot of resentment for him, specifically for that. You know, it's like, you're supposed to be one of our providers, and you're not. You're dropping the ball. So, I mean, and she was the one who, when he got kicked out, wanted him to come back for Christmas, which, thank God we listened to her. But,